You are 67 years old and you cannot breathe. The doctors are cutting into your arm again. The fourth time today. Your blood pools into a ceramic bowl, dark, too dark, and you can see their faces trying not to show panic. Your throat is swelling shut. Every breath sounds like drowning on dry land. You try to speak. Nothing comes out but a wet rasp. They don't know it yet, but you're going to die in this room. In 2 days, maybe 3. And the only thing you can think about is how none of them know who you actually were. But let's go back. You are 11 years old when your father dies, and the world you were promised dies with him. The estate goes to your half-brother. The wealth, the education in England, the gentleman's life, all of it evaporates. You stand at the funeral in clothes that don't quite fit, watching men who will never see you as their equal. You are tall for your age. That's all you have. Height and a last name that means less than it should. So you learn to measure land, not because you love it, because it's what's left. You are 16, walking through forests that want to kill you, mapping territory for men who will profit while you sleep in frozen mud. The mountains don't care about your name. You nearly drown twice. You get shot at. You survive not because you're special, because you're too stubborn to understand you should be dead. Survival feels like nothing. You are 22 when they send you back with men following you. Lieutenant Colonel, you lose. Badly. You sign a surrender document in French, a language you barely read, and accidentally confess to assassinating a diplomat. The world calls you a failure. You call yourself a soldier. You are 23 at the Monongahela. 2 horses are shot out from under you. 4 bullets tear through your coat. Not one touches your skin. Men start whispering that you can't be killed. You know the truth. You just haven't died yet. You are 33 when you marry Martha. She's wealthy. That's not why you marry her, but it's not why either. She's kind, practical. You'll be a good husband. But 3 weeks before the wedding, you write a letter to Sally Fairfax, your friend's wife, the woman you've loved in that careful, aching way where you never say it directly, but everyone knows. You write, "The world has no business to know the object of my love, declared in this manner to you when I want to conceal it." You seal it. You don't send it. You marry Martha 2 months later. The marriage is fine. You'll spend the next 40 years being fine. But sometimes, late at night, you'll take out the unsent letters because yes, there are more, and read them in the dark like a man visiting a grave. You'll never be unfaithful, not once. But you'll also never stop wondering what it would have felt like to choose the thing you actually wanted. You are 43 when they ask you to lead the Continental Army, and you know immediately, in your bones, that this will destroy you. Not kill you, destroy you. You accept anyway. You are 43, and it's December at Valley Forge, and you can't remember what warmth feels like. The cold isn't poetic. It's a physical presence, a predator that lives in your lungs. You watch a boy 16, maybe 17, unwrap the rags from his feet, and the skin comes off with the cloth. He doesn't scream. He's too tired to scream. He just stares at the exposed bone and asks you when the supplies are coming. You lie. You tell him soon. There are no supplies. You walk through camp at night because sleeping means dreaming, and dreaming means seeing all the ways this ends. Men huddle around fires that barely produce heat, burning fence posts because there's no firewood left. Some have deserted. You can't blame them. Some have died, sitting upright, frozen in place, and no one noticed until morning. Congress won't send money. France hasn't joined. Your officers are writing letters not to you, to each other about who should replace you when you inevitably fail. You write letters too, begging letters. Letters that strip away whatever dignity you have left. If you could see the men, you write, their naked feet on frozen ground, blood marking their paths. You stop, cross it out. Too emotional. Try again. But here's what you don't write. That you wake up every night at 3 a.m., convinced you're leading these men into a mass grave with your name on it. That you've already lost battles you should have won. That your greatest skill isn't strategy or courage. It's simply not quitting when quitting is the only sane option. You're not a genius. You're just too terrified of who you'll become if you stop. You are 47 at Yorktown, and the British surrender, and men are cheering, and you feel nothing. Not relief, not joy, just the arithmetic of how many didn't make it here. Just the knowledge that victory means you're a symbol now, not a man. They will never let you stop being this. You are 51 when they beg you to become a king. Colonel Nicola's letter sits on your desk. You've read it 11 times. Some people believe the country needs a steadier hand, a permanent hand, a crown by any other name. You should burn it immediately. Instead, you sit with it for 3 days. Because here's the truth, rotting in your chest. It would work. The country is chaos. You could fix it. One signature. You'd be good at it, even. Benevolent. Fair. Nothing like the king you fought. That's what you tell yourself at night. Just until things stabilize. Then you'd step down. But you know how that story ends. Every tyrant believes he's temporary. You write back to Nicola. Your hand shakes. Let me beg you to never mention this idea again. You don't tell him it took you 3 days to find the strength to say no. That, you're terrified of how easy it would have been to say yes. You are 57 when they make you president, and you realize immediately you've made a mistake. Every decision births a faction that wants to destroy you. Jefferson thinks you're a tyrant. Hamilton thinks you're too cautious. The press calls you both dictator and coward. And then there's this. You are 58, standing on the porch at Mount Vernon. You watch Hercules, your chef, your slave work in the garden. He's the best cook in Virginia. Dignitaries request him by name. You've told yourself 100 times you'll free them. But Hercules is worth 200 pounds sterling. There are 300 others. Martha's dower slaves can't legally be freed. And if you free yours, what message does that send? You watch him work. And you absolutely know that this will be the thing they can't forgive. Not the military losses. Not the political compromises. This. You go back inside. You tell yourself, after the presidency, in the will, later. There's always later when you're busy building a country on principles you don't fully live by. Hercules will eventually escape. You'll send slave catchers after him. You'll never find him. And some part of you will be glad. You are 65 when you finally go home, and it doesn't feel like home. Mount Vernon is a stage set. Tourists come to see the general, the president, the father of his country, a phrase that makes you want to scream because you have no children, just a nation that will rewrite you the moment you're gone. You are 67, and it's December, and you go riding in freezing rain because sitting still feels like dying slower. You come home shivering, your throat swells, the doctors arrive, they always do, for men like you, and they bleed you 4 times. They take nearly half your blood, trying to cure an infection by draining your life. You can't speak, but you can write. I die hard, but I am not afraid to go. That's the lie they'll remember. The truth is quieter. You're not afraid of death. You're afraid you wasted your life becoming a monument instead of a man. You're afraid that everything you sacrificed, your youth, your health, your chance at being anything other than this, will be rewritten into something noble, something clean, something that erases the parts of you that were just afraid and tired and morally compromised. You die on December 14th, 1799. The room is warm, finally. Martha is there, but at a distance, she's always at a distance, in the way of marriages built on respect rather than passion. The doctors have given up. Your secretary, Tobias Lear, holds your wrist, checking for a pulse that's barely there. Your last conscious thought isn't noble. It's this: they're going to get it all wrong. Your eyes close. The country stops. They mourn. They build memorials. They name the capital after you. They carve your face into mountains and print it on money and teach children that you could not tell a lie. But here's what they don't teach. You spent your entire life trying to matter, and the moment you did, mattering became a trap. You became the thing everyone needed you to be, which meant you stopped being anything at all. You owned people while preaching freedom. You rejected a crown but wielded its power. You were a hero who never felt heroic, a father who had no children, a legend who died knowing the legend was a lie. And the worst part? You knew. The whole time, you knew. You just couldn't figure out how to be anything else. Somewhere in Philadelphia, in a city you'll never see again, Hercules is free. He's cooking in a tavern under a name that isn't his, serving people who'll never know who he was or who owned him or what it cost him to get there. He'll outlive your memory by decades. He'll never speak your name again. That's your life. That's what it cost to be George Washington. And history will never, ever let you explain.